Capricorn.
Hey everyone, before we start today, I'd just like to address a question that I get a lot in my email, and it will save me a lot of time here if I can collectively address it here to you. So the question I get is whether I give private readings or not. And yes, I do. I do it all the time. You will find it here on the sidebar. You just want to click on it. It will take you directly to the website where you can find out more information on the various readings that are available to you, both on the astrological side as well as the psychic readings and what you can expect from those. All right, so let's get on with it and see what November has in store for you this month. Hello Capricorn, this is your forecast for November 2014. And this month here, we have a beautiful beginning of the month. 3 beautiful aspects that are going to kick into action right off the bat. And the first one is Mercury and Jupiter. Now Mercury is currently cruising through your area of career. And in October, you were given more ample time to work through this area, to tweak it, refine it, and so forth, because the retrograde was in your career house. Now, if you haven't listened to the special forecast of Mercury retrograde in October, you can go right here to the top button on the playlist here, and you will find Mercury retrograde for your sign and get a little bit more extra insight for it, if you're listening to this now on the October end of this forecast, of course. So Mercury is moving direct now here in November, so it is cruising, it's starting to pick up speed, and it starts off with a beautiful sextile to Jupiter. Jupiter expands everything it touches, and it expands it when it's in a good aspect with all the positive qualities of what Jupiter represents. Which means generosity. There's all that great support coming in. There's the feeling of enthusiasm, optimism, and so forth. And Jupiter for you is in the 8th house, which has to do with royalties, commissions, the money that you have with shared resources with your partner. Now, your partner could be your significant other. It could also be bank and investment companies. So you might come to see some returns, or it could also be, say, bonuses perhaps, or maybe even a promotion that can come to increase money for you, or also expand the fields of your career. So if you're working closely with an agent, for example, you might see benefits coming through a communication here, November 1st. Now, we also have Venus, same day, in a beautiful aspect to Pluto. Now, Venus rules money as it rules love and relationships. And when it comes into sextile to Pluto, we always see intensity taking place. Pluto is very deep. We feel it, you know, the sheer intensity from it. It could also be very intimate if we're looking at a relationship aspect from it. It could be very deep, relating to the I am aspect. Because your Pluto here is in that 1st house of the I am. Venus is in the 11th house for hopes, dreams, wishes. So you might just feel like the universe now is supporting you from some dream or some hope, wish here that now can give to you. It's like, I feel, Capricorn, for you that something good is coming your way that you deserve. All right, because you've been giving out so much, and there's been so many changes going on for you here in the home arena, with having Uranus moving through it, and Saturn also, that's been limiting the extra time that you always like to share socially with friends. Saturn's been holding you back, limiting somewhat here. However it works for you, I can't see when I don't have your personal birth chart, but in the solar chart, having Saturn in the 11th house, there's been some restrictions around you, but that's going to loosen up from December onwards, okay, the 3rd week of December. So you're kind of concluding now a 2.5 year cycle, and so this month, November here, both the Sun and Venus will be passing through the very degree of Saturn, kissing it, for good luck as they move on, and as then Saturn will finish its journey. The last kiss it's going to receive is from Mercury, which is going to be towards the end, around the 25th. But then that's the last aspect that Saturn is going to receive before it changes signs around December 20th, thereabout. And that's when you're finalizing. So you should come to see that your hopes and dreams are just going to be dreams moving slowly. Things move slow with Saturn. But you're going to see how that's really going to start picking up from next month. But yes, it is a time for you here in November to catch up a little bit with friends. Networking is going to be important. These very same kisses that I'm saying, that's conjunctions. That's when we have two planets in the same space in the sky and they touch upon each other. So they infuse their energy. And for you, this is happening in your network area of friends, groups, organizations, and so forth. And Saturn wants to ground things, secure you. With the Sun, it's your essence that's going to be secured here, leaving you with a golden key. All right? That aspect itself is going to take place, Sun and Saturn, here November 18th. Then you will have Venus and Saturn, November 12th, so write that on your calendar. Venus will want to grant you a key for how you can improve your financial situation, and also situations that regards your relationships in the overall, also your personal love relationships. It's grounding something here on November 12th, and then we have Mercury and Saturn on November 25th. So those are key dates here in November for you to, on a personal level now, create new roots. So we also have here something very special taking place. This is now Mars is out of your 12th house. It's concluded a 2-year cycle around the chart, so it's now into your first house, invigorating you, re-energizing you. You're starting to come out again with new energy. You might have felt a little tired there perhaps in October, just because Mars was more pulled back into that area where it just wants to be quiet and listen to one's own inner thoughts. But now it's out and about. Your energy's up again. And then we have Mars and Pluto. They're going to have a conjunction this month. So Mars is your energy, it's your goals, it's your drives. And now Pluto is extremely powerful. So if Mars is dynamite, we know Pluto is nuclear. The two of them, it's like a Sputnik taking off, launching. So pay attention to this date, which is going to be November 10th, okay, taking place for you. Whatever you initiate on this date, it has the power to stay with you for 2 years until their next meeting on this level. So this initiation is just launching it off. So you might have something happening on the date itself, but then it's also just an initiation point for where that cycle is going to take off and come back after 2 years. So if we're thinking goals, you want to think 2 years ahead. What do I want to have completed within 2 years? Pluto's going to really send you off. So the clearer you are on your visions for what you want to obtain, well, then you have an awareness of this date to really help you. November 11th, Mercury and Neptune are trine, and that allows you to think a little bit more about your creative substance, your creative dreams, your spiritual evolution, the higher essence of who you are. And so today, this might be a day where you may relate to some of these thoughts with others, with somebody that you trust and can share, and feel that this is something not only important to you, but where it might be an interactive thing, where you both can have a beautiful discussion on higher levels. We have maybe a little slight misunderstanding that could come in November 9th. Don't take it too close to heart. I see that clearing up. Give it just a day or two. And there will always be a day in between where people cross-communicate or misunderstand. It's Venus and Jupiter. They're square. And this is between the 11th and the 8th house. So it could have something to do with shared resources or money shared here with some friends, or it doesn't even have to be money. It could be something that's just important, inner values here as well. So you'll have to see what that means for you, though. We have all the planets now moving direct from November 16th. So all of them now will be picking up speed, moving forward together, and that will leave us out in the open, and we should see how our life and the rhythm of life and circumstances, also with the other people around us too, will be picking up and moving forward. So that's a blessing. And then of course we have that change of Saturn next month, changing signs, and we shall all be feeling that as well, as we do when major planets do change signs. New lessons to be learned. So this month is all about wrapping up the lessons of Saturn here in the 11th house, which has to do with circumstances within friendships or groups. There might have been something for some of you and something else for some the rest of you. It depends on your personal natal chart, of course. Now, we also have a lot of Mercury here this month. Mercury, which communicates, relates, thinks, speaks, relates to how we think, how we act, what we want to achieve, where are we heading, and what do we want. This is your 10th house career. Towards the end of the month, it's already moved into your 11th house. So in that sense, Mercury is going to take new action. I see you being very direct, very upfront and proactive. This is November 21st when Mercury has a beautiful aspect there to Mars. I see you being really energized, aligned with yourself. Remember, Mars is in that first house, so you're going to be more Marsy now, a whole lot more energetic than what you've been recently. And then it's going to, right afterwards, on the 22nd, have maybe a small disagreement or not really seeing eye to eye on the 22nd with Jupiter. But don't be too hasty. Whatever that is, it's going to be cleared up. And sometimes it's important that we have a little situation that can rise like a wave so that we can look at it, so we can actually deal with it and work it, refine it to something better. That's what you're going to see the results of on the 25th, when then Mercury moves into that conjunction with Saturn. So I see that being straightened out, coming to mutual agreement, feeling good about it too, nonetheless. And then, of course, the end of the month, the last aspect here Mercury is going to have is with Neptune on the 30th. That's a square. For you, you might feel that whatever was a little misunderstanding then kind of cleared out. Well, did you get the roots of it? Because there's a little thing here coming up again to the surface. And I see you looking at it and going, really? So there might be a second communication just to make sure that everything there is wrapped up. But on the 26th, you do have Venus and Uranus. And that occurs a few times a year. And Venus is about love and, of course, money and income. The trine with Uranus can bring an unexpected situation to the surface. So for you, this will be here in Sagittarius, yes, from Sagittarius and then to the 4th house. So the 12th and the 4th house, this may take place between you, your subconsciousness, or your creativity, which the 12th house also represents, or the need to step back and have a little bit more peace and quiet and tranquility. That's also the 12th house. And Venus is your needs when it comes into this area. So the trine is coming from Uranus. So you might just have a surprise here either within your home or somebody within your family that might just grant you a little space so you can have that extra creativity for you, for yourself. So the new moon here this month is going to be November 22nd. For you, it's right on the cusp there, 0 degrees, or depending on where you are, it'll be 29 degrees in some minutes in Scorpio, so it's right on the cusp. And for you, that's going to be between the 11th and the 12th house. So I would say here, for those of you in the States, yes, it will be the 12th house Sagittarius, and so this is when we place our intentions. And I think the best thing you can ask for at this time, because we only get it once a year in each area, right? And the area this time is all about finding one's inner space. Whether you can pull away from the family a little bit, sit for yourself, do your meditation or your yoga, or just to lay down and read a book without disturbance. That kind of regenerative energy is important every once in a while. So that should be the mantra for your new moon this month, and also to listen to your creativity. There's a lot of creative energy within you, Capricorn, and so that can come up. You know, it's when we're quiet that we're allowed to listen to ourselves. If we're too busy always with people around us, speaking to people, we don't really give ourselves the time to listen. And all answers do lay within. And plus, we channel a lot of inspiration when we're quiet and listen. So it's so important that we do have the little sacred space for ourselves every once in a while. That's your new moon intention. The full moon will be November 6th for you. This is going to be in the creative 5th house. So you might just come to see how this full moon might bring a harvest of something very creative that you've been working for. And so this area is illuminated. For those of you who have children, there might be special events taking place here under this full moon, or they might have a need for some more attention here on the 6th. But that should pretty much wrap up November. You do want to go listen to the Mercury retrograde for October. If you're listening to this now on the October end, you'll find it on the playlists there. So as always, listen to your moon and your rising sign. Listen to your partner's sign. See what's up with him or her this month. And I'll see you next month. Bye now, Capricorn.